Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this BTB Savage situation. Now, BTB Savage is a rapper from Texas who recently lost his life in Houston. Now, there's a lot of debate about this situation because it seems like the internet gone wrong. It seems like trolling gone wrong on two different ends. BTB Savage recently went on a very large platform, Vlad TV, and was interviewed about a shooting that took place at his apartment where he shared with his girlfriend. One of the intruders lost their life, and BTB Savage talked about it in the interview in detail, right? Now, after that, BTB Savage, about a week ago, did something really crazy. He posted a picture of him allegedly standing in the scene where the shooting took place and kind of put it out there for clout and kind of put it out there to boast. Now, this had a chain reaction where people who were close to that person allegedly got retaliation on BTB Savage, and he lost his life a few days ago. It's a crazy situation involving clout and involving the internet, and it's got a lot of people thinking about the effects of this social media age and clout chasing on digital media platforms. Now, I'm not saying that BTB Savage was a clout chaser, that he was clout chasing, and I am definitely not speaking ill of the recently deceased. But what's crazy about this situation is it seems like even people close to him who saw what he was doing and where it could have been going were trying to dissuade him from doing this, posting these pictures, retaliating on social media, or talking back to the people on social media who were dissing him. He didn't just post that picture. It seemed like people were taunting him who were close to the person that lost their life, and he was doing that out of retaliation. Now, the person who told this story to the news was his mom. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the news story where his mom talks in detail about exactly who BTB Savage was and how this whole thing might have went down. Now, before we get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this news story that goes into detail about BTB Savage's mom and how she saw this situation playing out and the loss of her son tragically, right? So let's check this out.
From the mother of an aspiring rapper who was gunned down in the exclusive River Oaks area last week. The 26-year-old went by the name BTB Savage, and just days before he was killed, he did an interview claiming he was involved in killing someone else who tried to rob him. Now his mother thinks that may have led to her son's death. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor is joining us live from downtown with the story. Brooke?
Now, in the background there, you could see the picture that they're saying set off, the people who allegedly took BTB Savage's life. So you saw that he was standing out there, and this news lady, she's going to get into the details of some of those things. So let's check it out.
Mel, that rapper who's known as BTB Savage was posting on his social media. He was doing interviews about that deadly robbery just a few months ago. His mother tells me, well, he was just defending himself and didn't deserve to die. She says she tried to beg her son, stop posting and stop doing interviews talking about this.
Now, she was kind of late because once he did the Vlad interview, Vlad's platform is humongous. And then you're going to have people who go through and clip it and going to look at the clips, share the clips. It's going to be a whole whirlwind of a crazy story out there, no matter what. And the people who are directly involved, like the people who are close to the person who lost their life, they're going to get reminded of that on social media all the time. And that's where this vicious cycle comes from, man. And that's how it maintains. And what's crazy about the situation is this was probably the most popularity that BTB Savage would have gotten in his rap career, so he had to jump on the opportunity to jump on a platform so big, man. It's a double-edged sword almost, man. But let's check this story out some more.
Gunned down near River Oaks, behind the wheel of a car riddled with bullets. The mom of a 26-year-old rapper known as BTB Savage tells ABC 13 that...
Now, I want to stop right there. You see that picture? It looks like he was in the military, or he was previously in the military or something like that. Looks like his mom took that picture with him when he was graduating his basic training or something. So it is interesting. It tells you a little bit more about exactly who he really was outside of the rap persona.
That was her son. Bernita Ward says her son's online persona isn't how she knew him.
I'm not one of those parents who try to cover up, whatever their children's lifestyle is.
To her, he was just Darrell Gentry, his legal name. He served in the military for 4 years and was a father to a 4-year-old son.
Okay, and that makes sense, man. He probably spent his first 4 years in the military saving up his money so that way he could pursue his dream as a rapper. I mean, if he went in, let's say he was 18 or 17 when he signed up or whatever, get out, you're 21 or 22, just in time to start rapping or whatnot, right? Or to have a big break in the rap industry. So, I mean, makes sense. But it tells you a little bit more about his backstory and that he's also leaving behind a child, man. That's crazy.
That's who she says she's most proud of. In February, Ward says her son thought he was going to be featured in a song, his rapping career starting to kick off. Instead, she says a group showed up to his apartment in San Antonio and tried to rob him. Earlier this week, the rapper did an interview with Vlad TV describing how he fought off the would-be robber, instructed his girlfriend to shoot him, and then left him to die. When the interviewer asked if he was concerned about
Now, that's very important. So he's at his apartment in San Antonio, Texas, I'm assuming, right? And some guys had said that they wanted to do a feature with him, but instead tried to rob him. And, it became a home robbery, home intruder situation where BTB Savage had to fight off the guy. His girl had to shoot at the guy, and I think they both ended up shooting the guy in some weird way. I'm not sure how that went down exactly because I wasn't there, but based on all the stories I've read so far, that's how it happened. And as the dude was on the ground, they weren't too, obviously if somebody tried to rob you, you're not going to show any mercy or be sympathetic to their situation because you're trying to think about your own life and your own safety. So they went on.
retaliation, he said, quote, "They might do what they do, but I'm going to get active. That's all that is." On Thursday, he posted on social media standing in the middle of a bloody crime scene. Hours later, Houston police say he was shot in a drive-by shooting.
I said, take that off of social media. I said, let this family mourn in peace.
Now, his mom even saw him make that post on social media. And, wiser heads prevail usually, man. And she was like, yo, take that off of social media. Like, there's a family out there that even though he was in the wrong, the guy who tried to rob you, his family is mourning. You don't know them. You don't know who they're connected to. You don't know any of that stuff. Maybe you do, and you don't care. But regardless, man, you putting salt on the wound,
But they were was taunting my son, telling him that they were going to kill the family, that they were going to make his mama cry like my son made his.
Now, y'all heard that, right? Basically, they were taunting BTB Savage after the shooting. After the deadly shooting, they taunted him. After the interview, they probably felt even more disrespected, so they were taunting him even more. That lets you know that people know exactly who these people are. They probably already went through social media to find out who they are or to see the exchange between them and BTB Savage. So what they're going to do is probably get caught, man. Let's be for real.
His mother cried, and I told my son, don't respond. But their family member came to rob my son.
Now she's forced to mourn the loss of her son.
Now that's a wild situation. Their family member came to rob him. They were in the wrong. So how you going to be mad at him? Now, all the disrespect after that, okay, I get that, right? Goes to social media, does a whole big interview on one of the biggest platforms in hip hop ever and talks about the situation, again, rubbing salt into that wound, right? But the fact that they were trying to throw jabs at him or diss him based on the fact that their loved one or somebody close to them lost their life when their loved one was in the dead wrong, was in the wrong completely, is wild. And they're saying that's why he might have posted that picture, to let it be known kind of a, dog, don't come test me, it ain't what you think it is.
Who she tried desperately to keep out of danger.
So the moral of this story to me is that two mothers lost two amazing sons and that their children will be raised without fathers. And that's a sad thing.
And it was also important for her to spread the message to stop gun violence on the streets, especially to the youth, she tells me. I also did reach out to San Antonio.
Yeah, what's interesting about this situation is, man, all of this, man, and it's crazy when you look at it, in reverse. Every little step of this could have been prevented. You know what I mean? Not to say that if BTB Savage was in the wrong in any way, because he was really just sharing his experience. Posting that picture was probably the only thing that he probably could have took back. You know what I mean? That was probably the wrong move. And that's not to say that they hadn't planned carrying out this shooting before that, you know?
Police to get more information about that alleged robbery incident back in February. We are still waiting to hear back, but of course, we'll keep you updated as soon as we find that out. For now, though, we are reporting.
All right, so the report ends there, basically, right? And what we learned is that his mom had the foresight to try to step in and correct the action before it took place. But it looks like, man, regardless of all that, BTB Savage lost his life tragically, man. This isn't a good story. This is a bad story. This is a horrible situation. And also tells you about the trouble with social media sometimes. I'm not saying that social media is to blame, but chasing clout, getting recognition and attention in the rap game by just doing negative things seems to always have a loop to it or a cycle to it or a circle to it that'll bring you back to a bad place that you don't want to be. Now with that, well, hold up. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. Now his mom painted the picture of him pretty much retaliating after people were taunting him based on the fact that there was that shooting that took place, right? And the guy lost his life. Do you think that in any way BTB Savage was in the wrong here? Or do you think that this is possibly just a situation where no matter what he did because of what happened, there was going to be some sort of repercussions or retaliation, even if he was in the right? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.